Speaker, sir, the historical basis of this country, because they always talk about land. We've given land and therefore, you've got to do this, otherwise there'll be turbulence. Mr. Speaker, sir, everybody knows. Read facts, books, read here, chart of the land, all of this stuff. Read this. Academically written, historically researched, factually based, sir. You haven't read it. There's a problem. Mr. Speaker, sir, the point is that land, Itoke land, was alienated in this country not by Indo-Fijians but by the European settlers. Everybody knows that. It was alienated by the colonial government. One of the very few countries, Mr. Speaker, sir, in that colonized period where there was no resistance to European control, British control. Mr. Speaker, sir, it's a fact. It's a fact that some chiefs gave away land to impress European settlers. It is a fact that some chiefs exchanged land for some muskets, for some guns, or even for some food. That's a fact. Those lands were alienated then. Not a single millimeter of land has been ever alienated, legally or illegally, by Indo-Fijians in this country. Yet, Mr. Speaker, sir, they are seen as a threat. That's a fact. That's how it's portrayed, Mr. Speaker, sir. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to quote, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to quote. And this is when, they used to wanted to have the right to vote. And there was a J.J. Ragg, we all know the Ragg family. J.J. Ragg said, he urged one of the chiefs, Tuitalevu, and this is a quote, he said, "We must endeavor to permeate the whole of the Fijian race," meaning Itoke, "we must endeavor to permeate the whole of the Fijian race with the fixed idea that the granting of the franchise and equal status to the Indians in Fiji would mean the ultimate loss of all their lands and rights, and later their final extinction from the face of the earth." That philosophy, Mr. Speaker, sir, was ingrained very deeply, and it resonates in today's Fiji also. It resonates in the justification of 87 coup. It resonates in the justification of removal of the Chaudhry government in 2000. That is a fact, Mr. Speaker, sir. So if we are to look into the future, to build a strong economy, to build a strong nation, we must rid ourselves, exercise ourselves, get rid of all this ghosts from the past. It's a fact, Mr. Speaker, sir. Today, till today, in colloquial language in Fiji, if you say to somebody you're a Keidolo, it's a negative term. But there is a place called Dolo. There were people from Dolo who resisted British control. And today it's been imbibed in our culture that if you call anybody Keidolo, it's a negative term. But people from Dolo, there were 70 to 80 people killed. There's no standing British army. They brought in Itoke people from the eastern divisions of Fiji and formed what they call the first native constabulary. There were people from Ra who were exiled to Kandavu because they resisted British control. That is not taught in our history. That is not understood. That is why, for example, when Ratu Sukuna did all the provincial of the land stuff, Navosa was put together with Nadronga. Navosa was split up into other provinces. That's the reality. Don't romanticize the past. Don't put a narrative that is not true. We till today have people in Ba, in Nandi, complaining about the way the land was alienated to different Itokotokas and Matangalis because of political considerations at that point in time. Please, let's not romanticize. Because if you don't romanticize, if you talk about the facts, then you can actually have a better future. We can make the right decisions, sir. Let's not forget the fact that Honourable Seruiratu talked about. When the people in Monasavu gave up their land for the electricity, for Monasavu Dam, how much were they paid? They didn't even get electricity. This man gave them electricity. Let's understand that. When they did the Fiji Hardwood Corporation, Mr. Speaker, said the Mahogany Plantation, 1950s and 60s, the Itoke people paid peppercorn rent. 1 shilling, 2 shillings. Mr. Speaker, sir, we fixed it up. He fixed it up. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir. So these are the realities that they need to understand. Let's shed ourselves of all this nonsense about the past. This fabricated narrative, Mr. Speaker, sir. Only then we'll have true analysis.